Good morning, BenPals. It's Thursday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, but this video takes place on Saturday, March 12th. And just FYI, going to bed at 5 a.m. when you plan to wake up at 6:30 is not desirable. Idiots. I threw on my lucky shirt and headed to the train station. Another interesting tidbit, at 7:45 a.m. on a Saturday, the station is pretty deserted. I wandered into the first car up on the second level and claimed 2 seats. Then I got acquainted with my surroundings and noted the bathroom. I wondered if people actually use the bathroom on trains. Yes, they do. Quite a lot. I'm a fan of the passing scenery, however, the train ride was an hour and 20 minutes long, so I did tend to read a lot. I was greeted in Chicago by familiar sounds. Sirens are very, very popular in Chicago. Normally, I would continue down this direction, past the loop, towards Lakeshore Drive, towards the Bean. But for the sake of this journey, I actually took a left. I very much enjoy being in Chicago, the scenery being so different from where I live. However, I did notice that I chose a very deserted street to walk down. This guy is wearing enough green, I think. By the time I hit Racker Drive, I found a whole bunch of people headed towards the same direction as me. Finally reaching my destination, I couldn't help but notice exactly how many people came to see the dyeing of the river. Hundreds. The amount of people actually here was very interesting to me because all it is really a boat driving around dyeing the river green. Only in one spot, and they do this every year. It made me wonder why this was so special. Maybe I just didn't get it. Pretty though. I'd had my fill of watching the river turn greener than it already was, and decided to head towards the parade site. A wrong move, since I encountered these fine folk. Half of the time they'd rule in noisemakers, while the other half they spent over arguing whether or not they missed the dyeing. They also used such terms as "oh my Lanta." And there was the Bean. I briefly considered coming back to visit the Bean after the parade, but decided that that decision would depend on how cold I'd be after. I encountered this little man while walking across the street. Ever heard of Segway tours? They happen in Chicago all the time, but I've never actually seen one take place until now. Love and marriage, love and marriage. Hey look guys, Power Rangers, only on Nickelodeon. That dog is awesome. The parade finally began over an hour after I arrived at my spot. There were a whole lot of people, and not a whole lot of explanations as to why they were there. Although there were quite a few Irish step dance teams, marching bands, there were also a lot of bagpipes and men in kilts. Honestly speaking, I probably would have been a lot more interested in this parade had it not been so cold. All I could find myself thinking about was how cold it was, and how windy it was, and whether or not the people walking by were cold too. Best car in the parade. Look! The Power Rangers are actually here! Oh my gosh. Wow. Hey, get out of the way. Oh yeah. Even during the tumblers, I couldn't help but notice how cold it was. This chick gave me Lucky Charms. I guess the hat I'd gotten earlier now serves its purpose as a bucket. This guy was so creepy. Oh look, more dancers. There weren't all that many floats in the parade, and there was nothing actually floating, which was sort of disappointing. Look, a bear! Those poor cold people. I'm positive he knows how cold it is outside. I'm wondering if he regrets his decision to wear that outfit. That's one of my favorite radio stations, followed by another favorite. And there's Bozo the Clown. How do you tell someone that you're done taking a picture of him? He almost made me miss the DeLorean. Oh, never mind. That was the end of the parade. The sign scared the bejeebus out of me. On the way home, I was exhausted and cold. I enjoyed the trip for the sole reason that I'd never gone before, but I honestly don't think I'll be going back to see the parade ever again. Who knows, though? Maybe I'll change my mind next year. Maybe I'll wear a sweater. Ben, I'll see you tomorrow.